Clinton Ekdahl is with us today, and with him, a hedgehog that we're going to call Hedgie. First of all, what's really interesting about these animals, Clinton, we were saying kind of pokey, this isn't fur on the outside, it's more sort of a calcified, I don't know, like a spiny exterior. Tell us a little bit about what these are, what covering hedgehogs have.
Well, they are spines, but it is technically considered hair.
Oh, okay. Very pokey hair.
Very pokey hair. Used for defense.
Okay, fair enough. That's understandable. It was interesting. You mentioned to me that that being that a hedgehog is a marsupial, not all marsupials are allowed to be pets.
Yeah, such as kangaroos and possums, but there is an allowance for hedgehogs.
Yeah, so there is a marsupial bylaw, folks, so please check bylaws when it comes to having pets. This looks like an interesting pet to have. What kind of age group would you say would, is this something that he could have instead of a gerbil, or what would your suggestion be with regard to age appropriateness?
Well, I would say because the care requirements for these guys is a little bit more complicated than having a hamster or a gerbil, I would say a good starting age would be 12.
Oh, okay, so this is real, okay. Now, when you say extra care that's required, tell us about some of the things that are necessary.
Well, for these guys, because they are an insectivore, they spend a lot of their time in the wild and at nighttime hunting for insects, so they usually require a lot of space.
Okay. So a lot more space than what we have today.
For today, yeah. I would say something around 2 feet by 3.
Okay.
You know, as a good starting, but also still running out time outside of the cage.
Oh, okay. So
yeah, they've been recorded to walk or run as much as a mile in a night looking for food.
And that's tiny. That's
very
tiny.
active.
With regard to that kind of space, if you've got, I know that a lot of people like to have more than one of an animal, just so they've got some pals to hang around if they go to work and things like that. What about, pairing up a hedgehog with another hedgehog for company?
That can happen. However, I would probably recommend having the animal that you already own and sort of have like a play session with the one that you might want to buy.
So so you could pair it up not necessarily with another hedgehog, you could have it with another animal?
No, with other hedgehogs.
Okay,
but it's just that 2 hedgehogs may fight. They may get along. It depends really, I guess, on the individual.
Now, with regard, you said they're insectivores. First off, I should ask you, where do they come from? Because they're not North American, are they?
No, they're not North American. Primarily, they're found throughout Europe as well as Africa. This particular species is a pygmy African hedgehog. And the big difference between that is that their temperature can't dip below 75 degrees.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, it can send them into a sort of hibernation state. But the African species, it can be lethal. It can put them into a coma. So that's why the age requirement is usually a little bit higher, because they're a little bit more complicated.
Now, you say they're insectivores, so what do we feed them?
Well,
I don't know if they catch flies, do they?
Primarily they will eat insects, but they also eat a lot of other invertebrates such as earthworms. In captivity, you can feed them small amounts of low-fat fish or chicken.
Okay.
As well, there's pellet food that you can buy the hedgehog. The only caution I would give the viewers is that corn and corn byproducts is very bad for them.
Okay. Good word to the wise there. So if you're thinking about a hedgehog, Clinton has given you a bit of an introduction there. And thanks so much. That's a neat looking animal. And I think his name is Hedgie.